I was very much like, I would just be on the sidelines. I never wanted to be the person speaker. And this is one of those things, there was this unconscious bias training.
If you want a culture fit, but you're saying, but we need to be more innovative and strategic, I'm going to make myself throw up. The word culture itself, it's everything. It's systems. It's leadership attributes. It's our company values. It's everything.
Be more strategic, guys. Be more innovative.
We mix up words like values and culture because we're not just talking values. We're talking, would you get to the end result the same way I would get to the end result?
If you are a subject matter expert and you love what you do, then stick there if you truly don't see yourself leading people, because that is a totally different realm where you are leading and you are no longer the player, you're the coach.
Welcome to the HR Misfits, the podcast about leadership decisions most organizations get wrong, told from the HR seat that actually sees the fallout. We're business-minded, human-centered, and just bold enough to challenge the people systems that no longer work, where polished playbooks end and real leadership begins. We're the HR leaders who've been in the room when things get messy, political, or uncomfortable, leading with heart, grit, and a little bit of sass. If you believe HR should be a catalyst, not corporate theater, and leadership should actually work for humans, you're in the right place. Let's get into it.
What's up, Misfits? You are here today joining LaToya, Marci, and Amy as we dig into episode 2. And this is all about corporate cringe. I can't wait. We're just going to tear this apart. This is about all the things about that we say at work that are cringy. Even the word cringy is cringy, to be honest.
It is.
And we're going to air it. We're just going to air it. We're going to dig in and talk about all the things. If you have ever physically felt annoyed or sick about words like cultural fit, we're family here, let's take that offline, all the things. We're gonna talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Nice.
So let's get into it.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Let's go. Corporate cringe. Okay, let's just dig in. LaToya, Marci, I'm so I want to hear your worst cringy phrases or words at work.
Well, I have a question for both of you because you work in corporate right now. And are you guys ready to circle back on that?
Yeah.
Well, I put a pin in a lot of things for the last couple weeks. So
yeah,
I have a lot of circling back to do.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. Okay. And I think that's a great way to start it, because the truth is some of these like words and phrases, they are meaningful, like,
yeah,
or they were / are meaningful, but they take on like a whole new life the more we use them, and they lose their meaning, I think, altogether. So circle back, I think, is a funny one because I actually do circle back.
Yeah, we have to.
I still want to be able to say that, but I hear you. Like, it's some of these things we say and say and say. I want to talk first about cultural fit because I'm curious, like, do y'all still use this word? Like, is this a thing? I was been using it literally up until this year. I'm just going to admit that. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but I've been saying it until all of a sudden I got annoyed with it. And I'm like, I think I even created a video on my LinkedIn 6 months ago or 4 months ago about this. Like, instead of using cultural fit, maybe we could use cultural add.
Yeah.
I don't know. Feels like it's a way to say, are you like me?
I agree. I know that I think it's been overused, and LaToya and I worked together at a company for years, and LaToya, like, you could probably speak on this with me and corroborate, but when you work for a company for so long, there does start to become these norms or, just similarities that happen, jargon that gets used. And next thing you know, it starts to then mesh into that phrase, culture fit. Yeah. And where LaToya and I worked, like, it was a big part of our identity around that. Mm-hmm. But what I think starts to happen is you kind of get in this bubble world when you're working in the company for so long, and you forget that, unfortunately, that can start to become language that's not inclusive, because then people are like, well, what is that? Like, what do I have to do in order to be a culture fit? So I hear you. I think it's been overused to a point where it started to lose its meaning. And I always say, like, what are you ultimately trying to say? Like, what's the bottom line of culture fit when you say that?
Yes.
I think this is one of those that I think it started off with really good intention. And I think it was a point in time where it did what it was supposed to do, to talk about does this person have the right values in like the kind of the mindset of the company? But I think over time, where we saw is like it has evolved into things that are maybe a little bit more bias driven. So like, does this person fit into the box or boxes that we believe will be successful here? Long time ago, this was like very early in my like HR business partner journey. I remember it was before the big DEI moment. I'll come back to that. Those of you that don't know that I had like a DEI, kind of whirlwind experience. But for a long time, I really did not want to be the Black person that was in head of DEI. I know a lot of people of color that are in this situation. So I was very much like, I would just be on the sidelines. I never wanted to be the person speaker. And this is one of those things. There was this unconscious bias training that I had to go through. And they showed a video and I was like, oh my gosh. And this was like 2015. And I was like, do people still do this? They show videos like for training? Like, recorded, but this one was so powerful and it still sticks with me today. It was called a penguin in the land of peacocks, or peacock in the land of penguins. That one. That one. Okay. Look it up. It's on YouTube now. I tried to show this to my kids and they were like, what is happening here? It's animated, but it is so powerful. Essentially, as you know, penguins are typically very uniform animals, and it was based on the concept of things like culture fit. Like the penguins were interviewing someone else and they're like, feel like we need something different, but they got to like be a cultural fit. And then they interview all these other penguins and then decide they're going to hire this peacock because it has all these different features. Like it's, it's a peacock, right? It's literally the opposite of that. And then once they get hired, they put the peacock in like penguin training and was like, you need to wear this tuxedo basically so you can look like that. Don't talk too loud, don't do that because like that doesn't fit here. And like so and so those two things is what I think has evolved. It's like we maybe sometimes say, is this person a culture fit? But then if they're a peacock in your cultural world, then it's like, okay, so let's now make you fit into it. And that's the other side of it. It's like you hire people for their diverse experiences, their differences, what they bring different to the table. And then you say, oh, I'm sorry, but like that doesn't really work here. So let me show you how we do it here so that you can just assimilate to all the things. And it's like, if you just wanted somebody that did everything you always did, then we wouldn't seek out diverse experiences. And so that's where I think that with all of the things that have changed and how we think about and what we know to be true from a data perspective in terms of like diverse backgrounds, it's like, the concept of culture fit kind of contradicts itself because if it's truly fitting into your culture, is it really driving the right conversations, or are you trying to create like clones of all the same people? And that's why it's very cringy to me at this point, because if it always seems to be like contextualized around something around how do we fit this person or this situation into what we think should be the box that we all work within, which is not the way we should go.
It's so spot on. And I love the fact that you brought that up because even as you're talking, I'm thinking, so then how funny and ironic that we then turned around and started using the word disruptor. Because if you want a culture fit, but you're saying, but we need to be more innovative and strategic, I'm going to make myself throw up. And you want to actually have disruptors, then what does that ultimately look like? So it's like, we want you to be innovative and disruptive, but only inside these parameters. So as long as it looks like this, we're good. But so I love that, LaToya, because it's so spot on. Because I used to sit in meetings and I would laugh, and I'm sure the two of you have too, because I was like, wow, we really are talking in circles. Like we're contradicting everything we're saying. We're speaking out of the left and the right side of our mouth, and we're ultimately saying, then don't rock the boat. Don't come into this company as a complete disruptor, because that's not how we do things here. Yeah, that's ultimately what you're saying.
Yeah. And I think that's why the term culture fit is so confusing, because I do think it's important to have a box, if you will, of, let's say, values.
Yes.
Right. So to join this company and be successful, or join this team and be successful, there are a certain number of values that you have to hold. You might have a whole lot more than that, and that's great. But these specific ones really help this team thrive and, and do really well, right? But we mix up words like values and culture because, to your point, we're not just talking values, we're talking do you think like me? Do you say,
Exactly.
would you get to the end result the same way I would get to the end result?
Exactly.
It's those kinds
Right.
of things that are not values. They could be defined as maybe cultural differences. And I'm just kind of using that term as we play with it a little bit, but they're not one and the same. They're different. So it's okay to have a set of criteria that are important to you. We want people that have high integrity. We want people that, are positive and solution oriented, or whatever those things are that are important to you. But you could still go about things in a different way and have those same values and be a cultural add versus a cultural fit, to our team and or company.
Yeah. Agreed. I love cultural add, cultural complement,
Yes.
And thinking about it more from that perspective than fit. Because again, fit is the essence of putting something in a box or in some type of shape or formality, like just by definition, that doesn't allow that person to be who they are. But it's just like culture is important. Like there's no world in which it's not going to be, but your culture should be your values. And I'm not even going to go down the rabbit hole of the where I would like to go and on a different episode about how, again, with DEI and all of this disruption that has happened in there, it's like at the end of the day, if your culture was built on inclusiveness, didn't matter 2020, 2024, it should have all been the same, because that was the foundation of your culture. If it wasn't, and it was the flavor of the month, then yes, this is things are shifting, but that's the litmus test of it. But I think the compliment and the add is what you want to do. How do you continue to evolve your culture? And that could include bringing people with different perspectives and experiences.
Exactly. Yep. I love that. I was going to say, because there are parameters, right? We like when we hire, because all of us have had to hire, we've had to interview, we've had to assess talent. Yeah. And I think when you think about a talent assessment, of course, when you're interviewing, especially a leader, especially somebody, if this person has long-term potential and I'm going to put them in charge of leading a team of people, then there are certain values and aspects that as a company we've agreed, like, hey, this is what we're not going to compromise on. So LaToya, to your point, exactly. We're not going to compromise on, we want somebody who has high integrity, leaders who aren't going to bully people and leaders who actually, can inspire people and do have followership. But I feel like that's where it should maybe stop. And when you start then going down this, they're not and then when I've challenged leaders in a room to say, well, what are you ultimately saying by that? They can't give me a concrete answer. It's like, it's just how we do things here. I'm like, is that really an answer? Is that a response? If I were to put you on, a public commercial right now and you were to be representing our company, is that really what you would lead with? I don't think so.
No.
Right. Right. Totally. Yeah, absolutely. The word culture itself, I think because of, we've turned it into like, it's everything. Mm-hmm. It's systems, it's leadership attributes, it's our company values, it's everything. So we use that word for everything, which unfortunately, dilutes the value of the word itself.
True.
Right?
Very true.
So I get so annoyed talking about culture all the time. And here we are talking about culture, but I'm just like, it's so annoying because it's like, what do you really mean by that? We are past the point in HR. We all can agree culture is not ping pong tables and, free drinks all day. Although those might be nice perks. I'm okay with it too. Bring it on.
Let's circle back on the free drinks.
Kombucha, like Salesforce.
Yes.
I like it. I love what they do with that. But the point is even Salesforce ping pong tables and free kombucha all day is not what builds their culture. They're nice ads, but they got it, right? And I think that's my personal pet peeve, which is the word itself, is it's so all encompassing that we have forgotten to really pay attention to the things that really make culture what it is, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Let's keep going on this corporate cringe.
We're going to officially sunset, which is another corporate phrase. So we're going to sunset cultural fit, and maybe
we're going to sunset
that.
We're going to put a pin in that for later.
We'll circle back to that a little later and see what.
Oh gosh, that was my favorite. Put a pin in it, or take this offline. Let's take this offline.
Yes.
I'm taking that.
Where's offline? First of all, where Where does that exist?
Like never.
Is offline. What do we actually mean by that? We're not going to talk about it in front of all. Okay, again, the premise makes sense. You've got 10 people in a call, and not everybody on the call cares about or needs to know or needs to be wasting their time, so to speak, talking about a specific topic. But it gets overused when really there could be a little bit of like, actually, we probably should all be on this call and not circle back because we all need the transparent information or whatever it is.
Let's just say it.
Let's just say it.
What is it that we're, because now we're going to have 6 meetings after this meeting.
Exactly.
We're all circling back in circles and not address the actual.
Now we're going to circle back to the thing that we were taking offline.
Right.
It's so true. It's like, just say it in the moment. If there's a lot of conversation and energy around a topic, it means that you have to get to some sort of conclusion then, so that you stop circling back. It's like, just have the conversation out in the open. And then if you think, oh, wow, you know, my thing used to always make me laugh. It's like, well, if you're afraid to have this conversation with the 10 people in the room, then what are you even doing? Like, why are those? So then do you not trust those people that are in the room with you? You've consented that they should be people that are consulted. Then if they're people that should be informed, then they shouldn't be in the meeting to begin with. So I used to always laugh at that. Like, oh, let's take this offline. I'm like, why is this sensitive? Like, talking about strategy is sensitive, guys. Like,
with this already small group,
I don't want to talk about this anymore. So I'm going to somehow get us out of this conversation so that we could just go, because offline is like never land. The place
never
is. We don't, the land of pinned things exists, but I do not believe that offline is not. I think it's off. Like, it's off. And never land. We'll never see this again.
Offline should stay offline.
Should stay
forever and ever and ever.
Let's sunset offline in 2026.
Sunset that.
Yes. Sunset with sunset, offline and cultural fit are going into the land of.
They're going on a very long leave of absence that might
there we go.
Return. So
it's been decided.
It's been decided. You're welcome. What else? What other terms are cringe in the workplace, you guys?
So I used to hear this a lot. Where, you know, when we hire, you know, the language around, oh, we're family here. Like, we're all one big family here. I'm like, what? No offense.
Okay, admittedly, though, didn't that used to be like that was a good thing when you heard that.
It was a term of endearment.
Yeah, it was a term of endearment. Yes. The intention was good. It was pure. It was like, you're going to be one of us, right?
Yes, one of us.
It kind of goes back to that cultural fit thing.
Definitely a cultural fit if you get to be a part of this family.
A family, yes. But I'm with you, Marci. Like,
we got to get rid of that.
Not everybody's family is like.
Well, because I think what it started to do is then it made people think that, and I know we talked about this in one of our last episodes. So if you've worked all day and you have, you know, family to go home to, and you have personal obligations and you have a life outside of your job, there's still this pressure of like, oh, well, we're all family here, so you should come to the dinners and you should come. It's like, actually, people might not view you as a family. They view you as a collaborative colleague that they get the opportunity to work with, and they like working with you, but that shouldn't have to feel, oh, I got to extend that beyond working hours because we're all, quote, family here.
Absolutely.
And I think that one of the things that, and it's interesting because I never had this like cringy moment until I heard someone in a younger generation say something about it. And it's like, I mean, it's not really intended to. It may have been a TED Talk or so, I don't know. But I heard that. But the first time it came to my attention, I was like, oh yeah, like that's actually, but it is like a code for like erasing boundaries, to your point, Marci. Like it's like, oh well, like if it's like family, like you'll do anything for family.
Anything for your family.
You'll color outside the lines, you'll be available, you'll do things that you maybe, because that's a different level of bond. But the reality is this is a workplace. This is not family. And that doesn't mean that there can't be care and kindness, because that's just like being human, but does not mean that I have to treat you like family, because at the end of the day, this is an employment relationship, and that's how it should be treated. And there should be boundaries and restrictions that look different than it would with your actual family.
Yeah. 100%.
And not to mention, like, it's kind of like, well, not only for us, but even like I think about my kids, right? So when they go out into the world, they're on their best behavior. People will always say, okay, they're teenagers now, so people don't give me this feedback like they used to as much. But like, oh, your kids were so well behaved. And in my mind, or I might even say it like, well, they were a freaking hellion before they came to your house today. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'd be like, are you sure we're talking about the same
Those
kids?
kids.
And I'm like, thank God, at least when they're out in public and with other
Yeah.
people, they're using their manners and they're doing all the right things. But when they come home, they are like, it's like night and day. It's like, rawr, you know, they're like this awful, like human. And you're like, I thought you were so sweet today. That's what they told me, you know, and really you were a complete, you know, butthole when you came home. So it's like, do we really want to be like family? Like where you're,
I know,
you know, of course we want people to be their true authentic selves, but we want you to save your bad behavior for your actual true family where you can really unmask and like,
I mean,
let all your
exactly.
frustrations out. We don't bring that to work.
I used to say that all the time, like, oh, you really want us to be like family because like my dirty, sarcastic mouth. Do you really want to hear that? Because like, if you really want, like, that's the way, you know, my brother and I talk to each other. You want me to talk to you the way my brother and I talk to each other. So yeah, it just gets to that point where I agree with you. There's always pure intentions behind these things.
Yeah.
Because they never start out malicious. But it gets to a point where you say, but ultimately, again, I go back to what are you saying? What are you actually saying? And this is what happens and why corporate America gets, you know, kind of made fun of. And I'll be the first to poke fun of it, is we have these like word salads that we say, but we don't actually know what we're saying. We're just looking for consensus in the room versus actually saying what we mean. And imagine if we just started really, truly being honest and saying it and calling it out. I think, you know, it would probably bring a lot of sigh of relief to a room. Like if we're sitting in a room with a leader and they're saying, guys, we need to be more innovative this year. And you got somebody in the back of the room that raises their hand and say, what do you actually mean by innovative? Like, what does that actually look like this year? I think we would have probably more
hard time.
real conversations versus, you know, be more strategic, guys, be more innovative, agile.
One of the things that made it what I think in practice, which really hit home for me, is like, unfortunately, the dark side of HR, right? Like there are tough decisions that have to be made and communicated, right? This is the part that I like the least. But then when that sometimes happens again, you treat your family a little different. And I had someone actually say, like, I thought this company was like a family. And now I feel like I'm being, you know, like kicked out of the family. And it was like, it really hit home. It's like the decision, like at the end of the day, this is a business. And those decisions, as we know, as difficult as they are, like they are based on business needs and changes. But you do handle those differently than that. And sometimes, like, I think, for all of us that have had to do this as leaders, as HR leaders as well, it's a tough situation to be in. But the reality is behind that, it's very scripted for a reason, because I've seen the outcomes of, you know, you wouldn't necessarily have a conversation like that with your family. In that way. But the reality is, from a legal perspective, from a business perspective, this is not that type of situation. But I've seen so many people take that to heart because they poured their heart and soul into an organization. And then you have to give them this very difficult message in a very structured and family-like type way. And it feels like a betrayal. And I think this is one of the things that I've coached leaders on, is like, yes, you do have to, approach these conversations with, of course, with some care, but there's parameters. But along this journey, just like be careful what you promise, what you say, because people internalize that. And then when tough decisions have to be made, they have a hard time disconnecting from that. So I think this is one of the reasons why this type of, and I do think it's getting better, because I think the backlash of this has hit a lot, especially as so many things have changed, realizing that trying to pretend, like, create an organization and say, oh, it's like a family, has a lot of, unintended consequences. And so I don't think it's as widely used as it used to be, but it's definitely a watch out if you're still in an organization that's using that, because there's a lot of things that could go wrong with that.
And we've seen that. I mean, it's HR, you nailed it. Like, I've been on the opposite side of that, where it went terribly wrong and it ended up in a potential lawsuit because of language that was used. And, and then what started to happen is then the pendulum swung on the other side, where it became robotic and cold. And I was like, we have to find a happy medium to this, because that's such a good point, LaToya, because at the end of the day, and I've coached my leaders on this, you're not their friend. You're their leader. Right. You can approach them with care, compassion, empathy, which in my opinion is bare minimum of what you should be offering as a leader to begin with, if you are going to be a people leader.
And be friendly.
Exactly. You don't have to be rude. You don't have to be abrasive.
Of course.
They found that, right? That doesn't, fear can only give you compliance. It's not going to give you loyalty. So you have to strike that balance. But at the end of the day, you are not their friend. You are looked at as the leader that they are following. You are supposed to inspire. You're supposed to help them, and you do it with care and compassion, but stop saying the word family, because it's just not accurate. Because spot on, if something happens externally or internally that ends up with a downsizing, you do have to then say, unfortunately, I have to make this as a business decision, and it's not personal, but you inserted the personal when you start talking like that.
That's right. You make it personal, and now it's like, okay, now it's not personal.
Exactly. So it's confusing, and I understand. And feedback that companies have been given over the years, when I've read them, I've like, that's fair. That's spot on. It's so I just think we have to be careful around this, which is where the corporate jargon can get you in trouble.
Yeah, totally. I will say that kind of on the opposite of that is I will never forget, this is probably, I don't know how many years ago, 10, 12, 15 years ago, somebody said to me, I can't even remember who it was. If somebody in HR had said to me that when you're in a termination, that they never said, I'm sorry. And I thought, like, I know, like, I understand the intention behind why they said that.
Yeah.
But I have been in terminations where I am sorry. And I just want to be able to say I'm sorry. Like, I'll never forget this one specific termination, probably 15 years ago. We were outsourcing some part of our IT function. And so a couple of our IT folks at the time were impacted by this. And again, this is not where I am now, obviously. But a long time ago, but he had been there with the company such a long time. And I remember being in this meeting and he cried. He was so heartbroken. And I just was like, I am so sorry. And I knew in that moment, like, whoever the person that had told me this would be like, you shouldn't say that. I'm like, I don't give a shit if you're telling me I shouldn't say that. That's how I feel in this moment. I feel sorry that they are going through this experience and they're impacted like this. And this is a business decision and it's hard, but the business decision impacts their whole person, their whole life. Like,
it does.
Why can't I be sorry about that? Now, I understand like some situations where I just want to stick to the script and get it in. That's normally how it's approached. But there are times when, my gosh, why are we so afraid to use words that show compassion? Right.
Yeah. And I think it's great when I've had to train a coach newer HR leaders through having to do these types of things. Like, I have actually successfully never said I'm sorry. It is not easy.
I said it one time, and I stand by.
I have other words that I have leaned on. Like, I know this is difficult, and like acknowledge again. The empathy is there. Like, I can acknowledge.
Yes.
And like all of us know, but like they know what I've told like people that are like, this is so hard, and like I want to say that, and even leaders, right, in the conversation, is like, this is not a decision. Like, for those people that are like, I've had to tell friends that this is not a decision that you personally made. So like, you can have empathy for what they're going through, right? Because it could happen to any of us. Like, I've been in HR, notifying HR, and then subsequently get notified myself. Like, it is not, we're not exempt from that experience at all.
Right.
So you can empathize with the situation, but also not being like taking accountability for a decision that was the company's decision, but also understand. But it's really hard. Like that's like probably the worst part of being in HR. Like, you know that it's probably going to come. You're going to have to do it at some point, and it's never easy. And it is, because the human part of us wants to say those things, like, sorry, I want to help you. I know this is hard. Like, you don't deserve all the things that you want to say, but then you don't, like,
all of it.
Exactly.
But you're right, LaToya. Those words do mean, like, just inherently that I'm responsible.
Exactly.
Right.
I know.
I'm clearly not responsible, but I have to deliver, or support the leader and or manager to deliver.
It's tough. It's a tough situation. I've definitely cried in the car on the ride home after having to do those. Like, because I feel for them, because they're people, like you said. It's just, at the end of the day, we don't want or wish that on anybody,
No.
you know, but it's an unfortunate part of the job. And I think a lot of times, you know, employees, I know they get confused thinking that HR is an active part of the decision making around the person that, you know, and it's like, we actually aren't. Like we don't have as much power as you probably think we do around, you know, who, because frankly speaking, like, you know, even when we do org design, it doesn't go by people first. It's like, what is the business? What are the needs of the business?
The technical skill or what?
Exactly. So yeah, it's really difficult. And again, this is why, you know, I agree. Like sometimes these common annoying phrases can get us into trouble where we have to really be more specific where we can. Yep. And it's difficult, right? Because you're in this land of like litigation and then in the land of being a people person. So you're just like, how do I find that balance? But there's certain ways that I think we can get better at saying things. You know, but yeah, it's just, you know, I laugh when I think about all the list of things, you know, that come to mind. I feel like we probably can come up with hundreds of this.
Corporate cringe.
Yeah, and I love Amy what you said. I think that the difference and the opportunity is like, as we are sunsetting all these things to the land of no return, I like, you can be friendly but not be friends.
Yes.
That's actually it.
You can still value people without telling them that you're their family. All right. You can still have a community and not necessarily a family, right? Like
that's right.
There are different things.
100% agree with you.
And you can terminate someone with language that's kind and empathetic without saying I'm sorry.
100%. You can show compassion.
Absolutely.
It's and you know this, the both of you I'm sure have experience with this. When you work with executives, that there's a reason they say too, it's lonely at the top, because a lot of these executives, they can't bring their whole self to work. They can't be overly authentic because they do have a specific job, and being very visible and having to make sure that they're representing the company and they're representing at a high level, which is why from an HR perspective, like if you want to know, we actually are the ones that are open and real with them. Like we're the ones that do have that kind of relationship with them where we will say it as it is, and they like that. So I've joked around with my leaders all the time. I'm like, look, I'm not going to sugarcoat this and be your friend, because you don't want that. You want me as your coach and as your business partner that has HR solutions. So I'm going to be open and real. There's another one, right? Open and real, with you and be honest. And they appreciated that. They appreciated that because it's true. You can't, you know, and I say this to everybody all the time. If you are a subject matter expert and you love what you do, then stick there if you truly don't see yourself leading people, because that is a totally different realm where you are leading and you are no longer the player, you're the coach. And if you don't like that, don't get in that arena, because it can be lonely and you aren't their friend. I hate to break it to you, but you're not their friend.
Right. That's
not how it works.
That's right.
Yeah, I totally agree. And you said another one that,
let's hear it. Let's talk about it. You're talking about open and real?
Oh no, I like open and real. Actually.
I like open and real.
I don't think I'm here for. Oh my gosh, I just lost it. You said something and I was like, that one I do want to completely. Bring your whole self to work. I think it's like, if it's still around, it's on life support. To be clear,
it is on life support. No, it is.
It is.
I definitely
can unplug it
make a motion to make sure that it finds its way to the afterlife, because this to me is right up there with the culture. But to me, this was the biggest disguise for trying to push people to burnout and eliminating boundaries. Like risking your whole self to anything is never. It's socially, first of all, and I don't care whatever context you're in. It's not in a corporate environment, in your work environment. You cannot ever bring your whole self to work. Number one, I don't want to bring my whole self to work because
I don't want to.
Right.
No, thank you. Exactly.
Because I want to compartmentalize the fact that this is work and this is not. And that's okay. So number one, don't bring your whole self to work. Also, lots of calls to HR happen if you bring your whole self to work, because the version of you that is lots of different things. Your Saturday version versus your Monday version is
I'll tell you
different. But I remember,
Stories.
like, I took a brief time out of the workforce when I went to grad school, and when I came back, I mean, I was hearing this way too much. Like, bring your heart. I was like, where does this come from? And why is everybody saying it?
Yeah.
And what does it mean exactly?
What do you mean by that? Because I'm pretty sure none of us need to be bringing our whole self to work. But I mean, I don't know who put that into the game, but it was spreading like wildfire. And I was like, somebody needs to get rid of this immediately, because that is not, I would be like, people come to me, I would be like, please don't bring your whole self to work. In fact, please talk about the boundaries in which I'd like you to stay in.
Yeah. That was always my
HR
favorite.
Misfits are here to tell you, do not take your whole self to work.
I know. Please don't.
See, we need this in your voice. Your like elevator voice. Like,
Oh, yes.
Bring.
In 2026, we will be sunsetting bringing your whole self to work. Thank you.
In fact, I'd like you to actually do a quick rundown of which parts of yourself you were thinking about bringing in. We're going to remove some of them from the cart. That's not.
You don't want. Like, that's why we've laughed. We said that, like, the ongoing joke is that the three of us were in HR, because I was like, listen, like, I'm the girl that's like rolling up in the parking lot listening to rap music from the 90s. You don't want me to bring my whole self to work. Like, that side to me is precious, and I love it, and it's protected. And you're not coming for that side of me, because that is my favorite side to me, right?
Thank you.
It's like I can't do that in the workplace. I can't, even though, trust me, we want to sometimes, like some of our leaders or some of the people we worked around. There was a woman that, I mean, she was like the ultimate bully at work. And I got to be honest with the two of you, there were times where I felt my whole self coming out. And I was like, Marci? Because like when I was younger, I was known to be the bully of the bullies. If you want to see my bad side, bully somebody. I will come for you, because I don't tolerate bullies, because it's just, there's no place for it.
You're like a Peter Pan bully. Like,
yes, I am. And so there was a particular woman in the workplace who I when I say I came for her. And I had, in that moment, I had to check myself, and I did. I went for a walk. I was like, Marci, you cannot bring this level, and I had a very calm, cool, collected conversation with her. But don't think for a second my whole self wasn't in the parking lot going,
that's right.
So like, you were in the parking lot, but you're like, well, I'm going to get out the car and then I'm bringing my corporate self in. But
exactly. Because it's true, and that's the whole point, again, that we go back to, which I love the two of you nailed beautifully, is that's why we have to stop saying, oh, we're like a family here. No, we're not. We are professionals. We agree that this is a company we love to work at. We have goals and objectives we have to hit. It's like, do no harm, but take no shit, and find the balance of that. Don't bring your whole self, because you can't, and have your whole self with your friends and people who you can be that person with, but don't bring it to work, and stop saying we're a family, because we're not. We're kind people who care about each other, and we have a goal that we want to hit, and we all want to be successful, but it doesn't mean we all have to grab drinks at the end of work, where some people want to go to the gym or go home to their kids or go home and decompress. Like, let's just say it.
Imagine like if our family was like, can you please bring your whole self to the family? Do they want me to bring my corporate HR? Like,
no.
Please do. At the next dinner, bring some corporate jargon and let us know how that works out for you.
Yeah, I'll let you know. They're gonna say, please do not bring your whole self. There's no need for the whole self, which is our point exactly.
Yes, only when it benefits them, because I do have the friends that'll be like, oh, I need the HR version of you to help me address this, issue that just came up. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, but let me know when I need to unlock it, because then I can put it back in the box. But
man, I know how many times have y'all said, I just said it last week. Hey, I'm off the clock. HR, I'm off. I don't have my HR hat on. I said that a bajillion times, literally just as early as last week, to people that I work with after hours. Like, technically what that means is, don't be too inappropriate, because I still always have it on, and you are a work colleague, but I can relax and have fun, and I'm not running this day. You know what I mean?
Right.
Exactly.
It's okay.
It is.
That whole like HR is coming.
Yes. Oh, that's my favorite. They think that we're boring, or that was my favorite too. Is like, I had a lot of bias around that. Like, oh, you can't say that in front of HR. I'm like, I'm not Toby from The Office. I'm actually cool, people. Like, I'm actually a good time,
Yeah, and I said that before you even thought it. Like,
exactly. Trust me, we're thinking it. Right. The ongoing joke. I think HR is hands down filled with one of the most sarcastic, funny, just absolutely amazing people that genuinely think probably, wow, you guys are nuts, but we just know how to rein it in. Like we get it. We're empaths, we're observers, we see everything, we call it out. We think about how do we get the best out of people and unlock potential. So those are the types of people that make for very good HR leaders. But don't get it twisted. The parking lot, the rap music comes on, the mouth, opens, curse words fly out. We call each other, we text each other inappropriate memes. Like we're just like you.
100%.
Yep.
Yes. If HR brought their whole stuff to work, we would cease to exist as
we would not exist.
We would. I'd be fired in 5 minutes.
Most of them are going down.
We're the firers,
At least we'd have company. I'd be in great company with the two of you.
That's true. Like a whole misfit world.
Exactly.
That's hilarious. All right, so let's wrap this up with one final. Like, if you could just pick one thing that was like banned forever. I know a lot of this. We're sunsetting a lot of things, but is there anything else you think we think needs to be banned from corporate lingo?
LaToya, you go, because I know there's another one. I could see it. It's percolating.
There's so many.
Oh my gosh, there's so many.
There are.
I would probably say, oh gosh, it's so hard to just go with what.
There is so many.
Okay, I'm gonna go with going above and beyond.
That's a good one.
The concept of it. And again, I mean, Amy and Marci, you've heard me say this, and I can't wait to an opportunity to like pull some of my thing. I'm like a fangirl of Gen Z, so this is what you guys need to know.
I can't wait. And
the reason that this started is because I love the true disruption, the unapologetic disruption that they are willing to bring to the workforce. And as a geriatric millennial, I felt like, I thought we shook things up a little bit, but I feel like they are coming in a different way. And they, threw up all over the concept of going above and beyond and
the loyalty,
the family, like the
loyalty, all of it.
Cringe is even a thing because they're like, what are you doing? What are you
doing?
Yes.
But going above and beyond, they have made it very clear their focus on boundaries between life and work is impressive. I love it. And so again, that's why I'm like a Gen Z fangirl. I mean, I have a couple kids that are in that too, but but I love what they've done and the conversations that they've created that have really shaken things up, because they're like, look, when you say go, but like, you're going to have to define that for me. Like, and I love that because I love the challenge of saying like, what does that really mean? But for years, like we embraced that, like, oh yes, I'm going to go that extra mile, go above and beyond. And there's nothing wrong with like, I have very strong work ethic. I believe in, going and doing things to the best of your ability. But I don't believe that you have to try to break yourself in I think it's an unrealistic expectation that we set. Right. We say it's above and beyond, but it really is like the standard, because when people don't do that, then they get ridiculed in some nice corporate way about saying like, but you didn't actually do that. So when you think about it, it's like, even in the performance world, which of course, as you all at this point know, we have issues. Yeah. We'll get to that. Right.
Yep.
But most of the definitions of met expectations have met and exceeded most. Like, did I meet expectations or did I exceed them? But again,
which one?
Exceeding is the standard. Like that is the standard. But if you are all consistently having someone go above and beyond, and that is what you set as the standard, then maybe the job isn't right. Because if I can't do the job the way that it was intended to do, and the only way that I'm successful is to go above and beyond, then maybe the parameters of the job are incorrect. Because if I had to do two people's job for my one, and then you're like, wow, you're doing a good job, but the reality is I'm actually doing two jobs.
Well,
that's the problem in itself.
That is the problem.
Has made a point to call things like this out. No, I'm not willing to do those two jobs. It sounds like you need more resources, because here's what my job is. And I'm going to do that. And I'm going to go to hot yoga at 3:00. So
exactly. Figure it out, right? I'm off the clock now. You don't pay me enough to do this. Yes, exactly. It's spot on.
Does it give you a little bit of anxiety though? Because I'm just going to be totally honest. Like I agree with you, LaToya. Yes. But I could not implement that in my life. Now, to an extent, of course, because we've talked, I agree that, again, you guys know how I feel about work-life balance. There's no such thing. You prioritize where you need to be. But wow, like that would just make me a little nervous. Like, I don't know. Like, I know
the direction we're going.
It is. It
It's
really
the,
is.
It's the direction we're going. I will tell you.
Wow, it's taken a while for me to embrace it, Amy. Like I did. Like anybody that I actually work with is going to be like, whatever, LaToya. Like I don't think that you're living this lifestyle. Just so you know, in my heart, I'm living this lifestyle for you.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
However, I believe it. I deeply believe that this is the right thing.
I do
too. Now, like, I am also
the right thing.
Something years hardwired to live in this above and beyond world. However, I do not think it's the right thing to do. And anything that I'm going to coach on, all of my team, I'm going to tell you, like, you calling in on your vacation and things like that. I'm not.
Oh God.
By that, like, I'm actually concerned about like what happened that made you feel like you had to do that. And I'm trying to embrace that, because I agree with that. The reason that they're disrupting this workforce, they're not going to do this. Like, they're just not.
You're right.
We're going to figure out how to make this work. And that means that us as leaders and the people that are running these companies now have got to figure out how to make this work, because they are telling us like, yeah, we're just coming into the group chat, but we're not going to do this.
They're being clear with what they're
a different way.
They are. They're being clear. And not to get like totally philosophical on both of you, but I will, because you know that this is like what I do for a living. Like I coach, I have people who come to me for coaching, both life and professional. And I will tell you, there is a quiet unraveling that is happening where people are finally waking up to this societal conditioning around we have tos. And they're just like, but who told us that we have to? And when did we hit subscribe to this? Like, I don't remember being given a subscribe button in life where it was like, now I subscribe to forgetting about fun. And now I have to be an adult, which means I give my entire whole self, there we go, to work, right? Where I'm just like, everything's about work. And now it disrupts my social life. It bleeds into my vacation time. I have these expectations that I've also set. And this is what happens is we set these expectations for ourselves, but then we work around leaders in a culture that enables this behavior. There's nobody advocating or speaking up in that room and saying, hey, LaToya, why are you on this call? You're on vacation. You shouldn't be dialing in. We've enabled that. And then it's caused this entire machine. And now you have this younger generation who's literally breaking the wheel, and they're saying, time out. I see the way my mom is burnt out and my dad is burnt out, and I don't get to see them very often. And when I do, and then they're at the dinner table and the phone rings and it's a leader, they pick it up. They're watching that and they're saying, I don't want to live like that. That is not what I want for my future. And as moms and as dads, and you are essentially saying you want a better future for your children. Mm-hmm. Well, they're observing this and they're saying, but I don't want what you guys are doing. Right. So they're actually speaking up and they're advocating and they're saying, no, I'm pushing against this. And I get it. It's uncomfortable because like my dad, my parents' generation, your parents' generation, this is what they did. They worked. And it bled into our generation. Yeah. And that's how we grew up. And now people are fatigued. They're burnt out. I have people coming to me for coaching. They're saying, Marci, I'm unfulfilled. I'm like, you're unfulfilled because you stopped listening to what you actually wanted in life. Mm-hmm. You never asked if you were happy, and now you are. Yep. And so I'm seeing it, and I'm telling you, it's going to keep going. And I really feel that eventually there does have to be this, hey, guess what, guys? Like, not everybody wants their entire work to be their life.
Yeah,
their whole world.
Like going above and beyond is not synonymous with working hard and
not
things well.
That's right.
It's just understanding that the beyond is not necessary, should not be the expectation. It should be the norm. Like that, I think that's the point. That's the reason I would like to move that into Never Neverland, is because it just should not be the standard. And so let's get rid of the concept of that. There's always going to be a point in time where you have to do a little bit more, but it should be that. It should be a point in time. It should be, kind of episodic, not like your norm.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
And I think that's so spot on, because I think my favorite is then, because that phrase work hard, play hard, we used to say, but the problem is we forgot how to play hard. We just kept working. We play hard never actually came into the equation.
So maybe we bring that back. Do we just bring back play hard?
Bring back play hard.
Play hard. Yeah.
Because it's true that because I agree with you, because if you are having to go to this beyond, then that means that, one, like then I would then challenge the leader to say, then look around the table. Do you have the right people in the room? Because if you guys have to work 12, 14-hour days, then I'm sorry. Do you have the right SMEs around the table with you? Because you really shouldn't have to do that in order to get it done. You shouldn't.
Right.
Not all the time.
Yep.
100%
Yep.
agree.
Yeah,
So,
so right.
Yeah.
When I was younger, my dad would say, and I agree with that one too. That's a good one too, Marci. My dad would say, you got to have a good balance of work and play, which is funny because he never exhibited that himself. Like in his early years, it was just work.
I got to.
Do you know it took after my parents got a divorce? My dad's been remarried for 30 years now. So but after his divorce, there was a shift, and he lost something really important to him. I think that taught him that lesson that you can't just say work hard, play hard. You have to actually do it yourself.
You have to embody it.
You have to embody it. And he did. After that divorce, my dad was showing up an hour away to my basketball games. My dad was
awesome.
More involved and present with his family than he, and still working very hard, harder than he probably should have. But he did learn that tough lesson that you really do have to have both and actually do both, not
and
just
do both.
say it,
And do both, because those are the memories he's going to cherish.
Yeah, for sure.
That not the work. And that's the thing is like nobody has ever, and I said this before in our last, nobody on their deathbed is like, I wish I circled back more. I really wish, I wish I went above and beyond for company XYZ. Yeah, they don't say, nobody says that. And that's the thing, is just like life is precious. And, yes, everybody deserves to have fulfilling work and pay the bills and enjoy it, but it doesn't have to be your entire identity. Like it just doesn't. So yeah, I agree with you. We have to sunset that one for sure. That one's gotta go.
Hey, what I hear as we wrap up this episode is we have some really great topics coming up. We've got a topic around some DEI stuff, which I just can't wait to dig into that. We've got performance conversations, and I'm talking about the systems that we have that we just really need to tear apart. And we've got I know we're going to be talking with some Gen Xers and Gen Zers and just all the things, just to have a full conversation focused on generational differences in the workplace and what's coming behind us. So I can't wait. Hey, listeners, Misfits, if you hear us say culture fit, we're like a family, circle back, put a pin in it. Just know these terms are being sunsetted officially by the HR Misfits. If you hear them again come out of our mouths, it's against our will. We need your help in sunsetting them. All HR professionals, please help us in this effort. Thanks again, everybody. We'll that's right. Thanks again, everybody. We'll see you next time. See ya.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to HR Misfits, where people leadership gets real. If this conversation resonated with you, follow the show and subscribe wherever you watch or listen. And if you're a leader navigating complex, high-stakes people decisions, we're also building the HR Misfits Collective, a place for real counsel, not HR theater. You can find us online at www.thehrmisfits.com.